In 2020, I rented a small old cabin on the edge of the forest to get away after a long argument with my dad. The cabin was tiny but cozy, tucked away at the end of a dirt road. The neighbors were a few houses down, but I rarely saw anyone around. The cabin had one bedroom upstairs, accessed by a narrow staircase with a strange, old wooden hatch door that separated the two floors. It had been a month since I'd moved in, and one evening after a long day of work, I came home exhausted. I fixed myself a quick dinner, a sandwich and some tea, then headed upstairs to bed. Like every night, I shut the hatch door, feeling more secure when it was closed, even though it had no lock. As I lay in bed watching TV, I suddenly heard a faint voice from below. "Who's up there?" The voice was clear and came from inside the cabin. My heart froze as I quickly sat up in bed. I muted the TV and stared at the hatch. For a second, I thought it might have come from outside, but it was too distinct. I cautiously called out, "Who's there?" but was met with a chilling silence. My stomach churned as fear crept in. Still trying to convince myself it was just the wind or some outside noise, I slowly lifted the hatch and peeked down the staircase. The living room below was dark and empty. I switched on the light and saw nothing unusual, yet the atmosphere felt heavy, like someone was watching. I turned off the light and climbed back up the stairs, closing the hatch behind me. I was wide awake now, but I tried to calm down by turning the TV back on. Less than 5 minutes later, I heard loud pounding on the hatch, angry and forceful, as if someone was trying to scare me, or worse, break in. My heart raced. I knew the hatch had no lock, and anyone downstairs could easily come up, but I was too terrified to move. After a while, I forced myself to reach for my phone, but it wasn't on the nightstand like usual. I must have left it downstairs. Trembling, I opened the hatch a crack and peeked down again. The flickering light from the TV cast eerie shadows down the stairs. Slowly, I descended, and instead of turning on the lights, I slipped out the back door, barefoot, and ran to the closest neighbor's house. Their lights were on. I banged on their door, desperate for help. A figure appeared at the window beside the door, staring at me through the glass. "Please, I need help. Someone's in my house," I shouted, explaining I was their neighbor and needed a phone to call the police. But the person at the window just stared at me with cold, empty eyes, never saying a word. It was deeply unsettling. I backed away, realizing they weren't going to help. For a brief moment, I wondered if they had something to do with it. I hurried back to the cabin through the back door, which was still closed like I left it. I locked it behind me and turned on every light in the cabin, searching for my phone. I finally found it in my car, left there in my haste earlier. With my phone in hand, I went back inside, locking every door and window. The TV was still on in my bedroom, and as I climbed the stairs, I froze. Sitting on my bed, staring at the TV, was a man. He was motionless, his back to me. My blood ran cold. Before I could scream, he slowly turned his head to look at me, his face pale, eyes black as coal. I didn't wait to see more. I ran down the stairs and out the door, dialing 911 as I jumped into my car. I sat there shaking, watching the house from my car, while on the phone with the operator. Through the darkness, I saw something move. Someone walking slowly past the backyard, disappearing into the woods. police arrived, they searched the house but found nothing. Yet, I knew what I saw. The figure wasn't human. It was something else, something dark and unnatural. And I knew deep down that it hadn't gone far. It was still there, waiting, lurking in the shadows of that cursed cabin.